Awaken the Strength Within. Life often tests us with pain, doubt, and fear, but within every challenge lies an untapped source of strength. Awaken the Strength Within is a guide to rediscovering the courage, clarity, and confidence already inside you. Through real-life wisdom, gentle reflection, and practical tools, this book will help you rise again after setbacks, silence your inner critic, and live with unshakable purpose. This is not just a book about motivation, it's about transformation. The moment you believe in your own power, everything begins to change. Chapter 1. The Moment You Fall Apart. There comes a moment in every person's life when everything seems to fall apart. You wake up one day and realize that the things you trusted have slipped away. The job you loved is gone. The relationship you believed in has ended. Or maybe your health, dreams, or peace of mind have started to fade. It feels like the ground has been pulled from under your feet, and suddenly you don't know who you are anymore. In that dark moment, it feels as if the world has stopped caring. You ask questions that have no answers. Why is this happening to me? What did I do wrong? Will I ever be okay again? You feel alone, unseen, and powerless. But that moment, the one that feels like an ending, is also a quiet beginning. It is the moment when life, with all its noise and confusion, is asking you to wake up. When the life you knew breaks. Most people fear breaking down. We see it as weakness. But in truth, when life breaks you, it is removing what no longer serves you. It is asking you to stop pretending, to stop hiding behind the things that kept you comfortable but small. Sometimes life has to take everything away so that you can see what really matters. Think about it. When things are easy, we rarely grow. When life is smooth, we get lazy. We stop asking deep questions. We live on autopilot, doing the same things every day, even when they don't make us happy. Then, suddenly, something happens. A loss, a betrayal, a failure, and our whole world changes. That's when the real work begins. Falling apart doesn't mean you are broken forever. It means the old version of you has reached its limit. The way you used to think, love, work, or dream is no longer enough for the person you're becoming. The pain you feel is not punishment. It's a signal that it's time to evolve. The silence after the storm. After a storm, there's silence. A strange stillness fills the air. That silence is not empty. It's sacred. When everything collapses, you finally have space to hear yourself. In the noise of success, relationships, and expectations, you may have forgotten your own voice. But in that silence, after the tears and confusion, a whisper begins to rise from within. I'm still here. I'm not done yet. That small whisper is your inner strength calling you back home. It doesn't scream, it doesn't rush, it simply waits, patiently, for you to listen. Maybe you lost someone you loved. Maybe you were betrayed by people you trusted. Maybe your plans failed after years of effort. Whatever your pain is, know this: you are allowed to break. You are allowed to cry, to fall, to feel lost. But you are not allowed to give up. Because deep within you, there is something that cannot be destroyed. Your strength, your light, your soul. Why pain comes. Pain has purpose. It is a teacher. Harsh, yes, but honest. Pain removes illusions. It shows us who truly cares, what truly matters, and how strong we truly are. When everything is fine, we don't notice the power we hold. We believe we are strong because life is easy. But true strength is not tested in comfort. It's revealed in chaos. The fire of pain burns away everything false: ego, pride, fear, and dependency. It leaves behind only truth, the real you. Every challenge carries a hidden lesson. When life seems cruel, ask yourself, what is this trying to teach me? It may be teaching you patience, self-worth, or courage. It may be showing you how to let go of people who no longer belong in your story. Sometimes pain isn't there to hurt you, it's there to move you to where you need to be. Breaking is a form of becoming. Think of a seed before it becomes a tree. Before it grows, it breaks open. From the outside it looks destroyed, but inside, new life is forming. You are that seed. When life cracks you open, it's not ending you, it's transforming you. The moment you fall apart is the moment something deeper begins to awaken. You start asking new questions. Who am I really? What do I want from this life? What kind of person do I want to be? These questions don't come when everything is perfect. They come when you're on your knees, searching for meaning. Breaking isn't failure, it's the beginning of understanding. It's the soul's way of saying, you're ready to grow now.
The power hidden in rock bottom. Hitting rock bottom feels terrifying, but it's also powerful. When you have nothing left to lose, you finally stop pretending. You stop chasing approval and start seeking truth. Rock bottom strips away the fake layers of identity and gives you something rare: clarity. You realize you don't need everyone's love to survive. You discover that you can stand again, even when no one believes in you. You learn that strength is not about never falling, it's about how many times you rise. Every person who has ever done something great has known failure, heartbreak, and loss. They've all stood in the dark, wondering if they would ever feel light again. What separates them from the rest is that they kept walking, even when they were scared, tired, or unsure. You may not see it yet, but this difficult moment will shape you. One day you'll look back and say, that pain changed me. It made me wiser. It made me stronger. You are not alone. Even in your darkest hour, you are not alone. Every human being, at some point, has fallen apart. Every strong person you admire has walked through their own darkness. They may not talk about it, but their strength was born from their struggles, just like yours will be. The universe breaks us not to destroy us, but to show us what we're made of. So don't curse the darkness. Walk through it. Trust that there is light waiting on the other side. Because the moment you fall apart is also the moment you begin to awaken. Chapter 2. The Hidden Gift in the Pain. Pain changes people. It changes the way you see the world, the way you love, the way you dream. At first, it feels like a curse, heavy, unfair, and endless. But hidden inside that pain is a quiet gift, the opportunity to grow beyond who you were before. When life hurts, it's not trying to punish you. It's trying to awaken something inside you that comfort never could. Pain strips away what is false and pushes you toward what is true. It forces you to stop running and start looking within. And that is where real transformation begins. When pain feels too heavy. There are moments when pain feels too big for words. Your heart aches in ways you can't explain. Your mind won't stop repeating the same memories. You feel trapped in a story you didn't choose. You may tell yourself, I can't handle this. But the truth is, you already are handling it. Every breath you take in pain is proof of your strength. You may not be smiling, but you're still standing. You may not be healed, but you're still here, reading,
learning, hoping. That's courage. Pain doesn't always go away quickly. Sometimes it lingers because it has more to teach you. It wants you to slow down, to listen, to understand yourself on a deeper level. Instead of asking, "When will this end?" try asking, "What is this trying to teach me?" The message behind the pain. Every pain carries a message. Sometimes the message is, "Slow down." Sometimes it's, "You've given too much." Sometimes it's time to let go. Pain speaks in silence. It shows you where you've been ignoring your truth, staying in places where you feel small, pretending to be okay when your soul is exhausted. You may not like the message, but you need to hear it. Because the moment you understand why something hurts, you start to heal. For example, the pain of rejection might be showing you that your worth doesn't depend on others' approval. The pain of loss might be teaching you how precious love and time truly are. The pain of failure might be guiding you toward a better path. Pain is not the enemy, it's the teacher that refuses to live half a life. Growth disguised as suffering. Imagine a butterfly before it spreads its wings. Inside the cocoon, it struggles to break free. The process looks painful, but that struggle is what gives its wings strength. If someone tried to help it too soon, the butterfly would never fly. Your pain is your cocoon. It's not there to trap you, it's preparing you for flight. The struggle, the tears, the sleepless nights, they are shaping you into someone stronger, softer, and wiser. You can't become who you're meant to be without discomfort. Growth always requires pressure. Diamonds are made under pressure. Gold is purified by fire. Trees grow stronger when winds push against them. So why would your soul be any different? What if pain isn't the end of your story, but the start of a better one? What if it's the thing that will make you shine? The mirror of pain. Pain has a way of showing you what you've ignored. It's like a mirror reflecting the parts of yourself you've forgotten to love. When you feel deep pain, it often means there's a wound inside you asking to be seen. Maybe you've been giving too much to others and not enough to yourself. Maybe you've been hiding behind a smile because you're afraid of being vulnerable. Maybe you've been chasing things that don't truly fulfill you. Pain stops you long enough to see those truths. It asks, who are you without the mask, without the job, the title, the relationship, or the expectations? And in answering that question, you begin to discover your real self. The mirror may hurt to look at, but it's also the place where healing begins. Turning pain into power. Once you start to understand your pain, you can begin to use it. Instead of letting it define you, you can let it refine you. The same energy that breaks you can also rebuild you if you direct it with intention. You do this by asking, what did this experience teach me? How can I use this pain to become wiser, kinder, stronger? What can I now give to others that I couldn't before? For example, someone who has known loneliness can become deeply compassionate toward others. Someone who has faced failure can teach perseverance. Someone who has healed from heartbreak can show others how to love again without losing themselves. Your pain gives you empathy, perspective, and resilience. It teaches you what truly matters and what never did. It shapes your voice, and one day that voice might help someone else find hope. That's the hidden gift of pain. It turns you into a healer, not just for yourself, but for others too. The freedom of letting go. One of the hardest lessons pain teaches is the art of letting go. We try so hard to hold on to people, memories, plans, or old versions of ourselves. But sometimes what you're holding on to is the very thing causing your suffering. Letting go doesn't mean forgetting or giving up. It means trusting that life knows what it's doing, even when you don't understand. It means believing that what's meant for you will never require you to destroy yourself to keep it. When you stop resisting, the pain begins to soften. You start to feel lighter, freer, more at peace. And slowly, new things, people, opportunities, dreams begin to enter your life. Letting go opens space for blessings that couldn't reach you before. Finding gratitude in the storm. It may sound impossible, but one day you will look back and thank your pain. You will see how it redirected you, protected you, and prepared you. The thing that once felt like punishment will become your proof of growth. Gratitude doesn't erase the pain, it transforms it. It helps you see beauty in the broken pieces. It reminds you that even in your darkest moments, you were never truly alone. You were being guided, shaped, and strengthened. When you begin to say, "I don't like what happened, but I'm grateful for what it taught me," that's when healing truly begins. Every wound has wisdom. Every wound tells a story of survival, courage, and faith. It may not be pretty, but it's real, and real stories heal. You don't need to hide your scars. Scars are proof that you've been tested and you've overcome. They remind you that you've already survived 100% of your worst days. And that means you can survive what's next, too. So wear your scars proudly. They are not signs of weakness. They are medals of growth. A gentle reminder. Pain is not forever. It feels endless when you're in it, but slowly it will begin to fade. One morning you'll wake up and realize it doesn't hurt as much. You'll smile again without forcing it. You'll breathe without feeling the weight in your chest. That's the gift revealing itself, slowly, quietly, beautifully. You will understand that pain was not your enemy, it was your teacher. It didn't come to destroy you, it came to rebuild you. And because of it, you will see the world differently, with softer eyes, a stronger heart, and a deeper soul. The pain that once broke you will become the strength that carries you. That is the hidden gift inside every wound. Chapter 3. The Choice to Rise Again. Every person who has faced pain reaches a moment of decision. You've cried, you've questioned, you've fallen apart, and now comes the quiet but powerful question: will I stay here, or will I rise again? This moment doesn't come with lightning or music. It comes softly, often when you're tired of your own sadness. It's the whisper inside you that says, "I can't live like this anymore." That whisper is the beginning of strength. Because healing is not something that happens to you. It's something you choose. The power of one decision. You don't need to have everything figured out to start rising. You don't need to know how the story ends. All you need is one small decision. I will not give up on myself. Every comeback begins with that simple act of defiance. Even when you don't feel ready, you can choose to take one step forward. Even when you're scared, you can decide to keep breathing, to keep trying. That's what makes strong people different. Not that they never fall, but that they refuse to stay down. The truth is, strength isn't found in grand gestures. It's found in quiet moments, getting out of bed when your heart feels heavy, showing up to work when you'd rather hide, smiling at someone even when you're hurting inside. Every small act of courage adds up, building a foundation for your new life. Choosing to rise is choosing yourself. Rising again isn't about pretending you're fine. It's about saying, I'm not fine, but I'm going to keep moving anyway. It's about choosing yourself, not the broken version, not the perfect version, but the real one. For too long, you may have waited for someone to save you, to fix you, to tell you that everything will be okay. But the truth is, no one can do that for you. This is your journey. This is your decision. When you choose yourself, everything changes. You stop chasing validation. You stop apologizing for being human. You begin to see that you are not defined by your pain, your past, or your mistakes. You are defined by your decision to keep standing. You always have a choice. There's a saying, pain is inevitable, but suffering is optional. You can't control what happens to you, but you can control what you do next. You can choose to stay bitter, or you can choose to get better. You can choose to replay the past, or you can choose to create a new future. You can choose fear, or you can choose faith. The choice is never easy. It's a fight, not with the world, but with your own doubts. Every time you take a step forward, your mind might whisper, "What if I fail again?" But strength doesn't come from being fearless. It comes from moving forward despite fear. You can't always control the storm, but you can learn how to sail through it. The small steps that matter. Many people think rising means doing something big, changing careers, traveling the world, starting a new project. But the truth is, rising begins with small, consistent steps. Waking up early to see the sunrise. Writing down your thoughts instead of bottling them up. Eating healthy, even when you'd rather not. Saying no to what drains you and yes to what heals you. Forgiving yourself for not being perfect. These may seem like small things, but they are sacred steps. Every time you choose to take care of yourself, you are telling the universe, I'm still here, I'm still trying. And life listens to that energy. Falling doesn't mean failing. Let's be honest, the path of rising is not straight. You will have good days and bad days. You'll take one step forward and sometimes 2 steps back, and that's okay. Falling again doesn't mean you failed. It just means you're human. Healing is not about never falling. It's about rising faster each time. Think of a child learning to walk. They fall dozens of times before taking their first steps, but they never say, I guess walking isn't for me. They keep trying, not because they're fearless, but because something inside them says, I was born to walk. That same spirit lives inside you. You were born to rise. Turning fear into fuel. Fear will always be there when you try to rise again. It will whisper that you can't do it, that you'll fail again, that it's safer to stay where you are. But fear is not your enemy. It's just a signal that you're stepping out of your comfort zone. Instead of fighting it, you can use it. Turn fear into fuel. When you feel afraid, tell yourself, this fear means I'm growing. This fear means I'm alive. This fear means I'm trying. Courage is not the absence of fear. It's moving forward with fear in your hands and faith in your heart. The moment you decide to rise. There will come a day when you wake up and feel something shift inside you. Maybe nothing outside has changed, but you'll feel stronger, lighter, clearer. You'll realize that pain no longer controls you. You control how you respond to it. That's the day you truly rise. It's not a dramatic event. It's quiet. You simply decide, I'm done letting pain define me. That decision will guide everything that follows, the way you think, the way you speak, the way you treat yourself. From that day on, you'll start living not from fear, but from strength. The power of hope. Hope is the spark that lights the fire of rising. Even a small amount of hope can change everything. Hope doesn't mean you deny your pain. It means you believe that something good can still come from it. It means trusting that every season of darkness will one day lead to light. You may not know how you'll rise, but hope says, keep going anyway. Because every day you hold on, you're building the bridge to your new life.
A new story begins. When you decide to rise, you're not erasing your past, you're rewriting its meaning. The pain that once broke you becomes part of your story, but it's no longer the whole story. You begin to see that every experience had a purpose, every tear had a reason, every setback was preparing you for something greater. You start walking with your head high again, not because everything is perfect, but because you finally understand your own strength. You begin to dream again, love again, believe again. That's what rising does. It gives you back to yourself. A final thought. You don't need to have all the answers. You just need to take one brave step. Say to yourself, I may not be where I want to be, but I'm not where I was. I'm choosing to rise for me, for my future, for my peace. Every sunrise is proof that light always returns. And so will you. No matter how deep the fall, no matter how heavy the pain, the choice to rise again is always yours. And every time you choose it, you awaken a new level of strength within you. Chapter 4. Rewriting Your Inner Story. There comes a moment in every person's journey when they realize something powerful. The greatest battle is not with the world, but with the voice inside your own mind. You can rebuild your body, change your surroundings, and start over in life. But if you don't rewrite the story you tell yourself, you'll keep living the same pain in different forms. This is the chapter where you take back your narrative. It's where you stop being the victim of your story and start being the author of it. The story you tell yourself. Every day you talk to yourself, even if you don't realize it. You repeat certain sentences silently. I'm not good enough. Nothing ever works for me. I always fail. I can't change. Those thoughts might sound harmless, but they shape everything. Your emotions, your confidence, your actions, even your future. Because your mind always believes what you tell it. If you constantly say, I can't, your mind will find reasons to prove it true. But if you say, I can learn, your mind will start searching for possibilities instead of limits. You become the story you repeat. That's why the first step to transformation is changing your inner language. The old story. For most of your life, your story has been written by others, your parents, teachers, society, or past experiences. Maybe someone once told you, you're not smart enough, or you'll never succeed. Maybe life taught you to believe that you're unlucky or unworthy. Those words became part of your inner voice.
You carried them like invisible weights, not realizing they were never truly yours. The old story keeps you stuck because it tells you who you were, not who you can become. It's filled with fear, guilt, and doubt. It keeps replaying past pain even when the past is over. But here's the truth. You are not the person you used to be. You are the person you decide to become next. And that begins by letting go of the story that no longer serves you. Becoming the author. You are the author now. You hold the pen, and every day is a blank page. When you choose to rewrite your story, you stop saying, "Why did this happen to me?" Instead, you begin asking, "What is this trying to teach me?" You start replacing blame with understanding. You start turning pain into purpose. You start defining yourself by your growth, not your wounds. Your past chapters may have been filled with loss, mistakes, and heartbreak, but they don't have to define your ending. You can write new chapters filled with peace, courage, and strength. The question is, what kind of story do you want to live next? The language of strength. Your words are powerful. They can destroy your spirit or rebuild it. So start speaking to yourself like someone you love. Instead of saying, "I'm broken," say, "I'm healing." "I failed," say, "I'm learning." "I can't do it," say, "I'm getting stronger every day." "I'm lost," say, "I'm finding my way." Notice how your body feels when you speak kindly to yourself. You'll feel lighter, calmer, more in control. The language of strength is gentle but firm. It says, "I'm still growing. I'm allowed to change. I'm worthy of peace." Speak this way to yourself daily. Your life will begin to reflect it. The power of self-belief. Nothing changes until you believe it can. Self-belief isn't arrogance, it's trust. Trust in your ability to rise again, to learn, to rebuild. For years, you may have doubted yourself because you made mistakes or faced rejection. But remember, the most successful, peaceful, and fulfilled people in the world are not those who never failed. They are the ones who refused to give up on themselves. Belief doesn't mean you'll never feel fear. It means you'll keep moving even when fear whispers you can't. It means you'll choose faith over doubt again and again. Every time you believe in yourself, you rewrite the story that once said you couldn't. Breaking free from limiting beliefs. We all carry invisible walls inside our minds, beliefs that tell us what's possible. They sound like, "I'm too old," "It's too late," "People like me don't succeed," "I've already ruined my chance." But these aren't facts. They're old stories built from fear. And once you question them, they start to crumble. Ask yourself, who told me I couldn't? What if they were wrong? What if I've always been capable? I just stopped believing. When you begin to challenge those limits, your world expands. You realize that the only real barrier was the one you built in your own mind. The mirror exercise. Here's a small but powerful practice. Every morning, look in the mirror. Not quickly, but long enough to see the person looking back. At first, it may feel strange. You might see pain, regret, or exhaustion. But stay with it. Look deeper. Say to yourself, "I forgive you. I'm proud of you for trying. I love the person you're becoming." Do this daily. At first, your mind might argue, but eventually, something shifts. You'll start to believe your own words. And that belief will become your strength. Turning wounds into wisdom. Your story doesn't need to be perfect. It needs to be honest. Your wounds can become your wisdom if you allow them to teach you. Think of the times you were hurt. What did you learn from them? Perhaps you learned resilience, compassion, boundaries. Perhaps you learned that your worth doesn't depend on who stays or leaves. Every pain carried a lesson. Every mistake carried a message. And now, with awareness, you can use that wisdom to help others, or simply to live more gently with yourself. When you turn your wounds into wisdom, you stop hiding your scars. You start wearing them as proof that you survived and that you grew. Writing a new chapter. Let's pause for a moment. Imagine your life as a book. The first chapters may have been dark, full of struggle, disappointment, and loss. But what if the next chapter begins differently? What if this is the chapter where you discover your purpose, where you start loving yourself, trusting yourself, and building a life that feels true to who you are? You can write that chapter right now. You don't need anyone's permission. You just need to decide that your past is a lesson, not a life sentence. The page is blank, the pen is in your hand. A new inner voice. As you move forward, listen closely to the voice in your head. When it criticizes, interrupt it with kindness. When it doubts, remind it of how far you've come. When it fears, comfort it with truth. Your mind has been your battlefield, but it can become your garden. Water it with patience, feed it with gratitude, and you'll start to see beauty where there was once only pain. You are the author, not the audience. You can rewrite your story at any moment, with new words, new beliefs, new actions. No matter what your past says, your future is unwritten. And every time you choose self-love over self-doubt, you turn the page toward freedom. So today, say it out loud. I am not my past. I am not my pain. I am the writer of my new beginning. Chapter 5. Building Unshakable Self-Confidence. Confidence is not something we are born with. It's something we build. It is not arrogance, bravado, or perfection. It is quiet, steady, and internal. It is the sense that no matter what happens, you have the strength to handle it. After falling apart and learning to rewrite your inner story, confidence becomes your next foundation. Because if you don't believe in yourself, the world's doubts and challenges will overwhelm you. But if you nurture it, confidence becomes a shield and a guiding light. Confidence starts with action. Most people think confidence comes first, that you feel strong, then act. But the truth is the opposite. You act and confidence follows. Every time you take action, even when scared, your belief in yourself grows. Take small steps. Speak up when you would normally stay quiet. Try something new, even if it might fail. Face a fear, no matter how small. Each act builds proof for yourself that you can. Confidence is not a feeling, it's the collection of small victories over fear, doubt, and hesitation. Stop seeking approval. One of the biggest obstacles to confidence is caring too much about what others think. When your self-worth depends on approval, you give away your power. You begin to shrink yourself to fit expectations. Confidence comes when you stop asking for permission. When you say, I am enough as I am, you no longer need validation from others to feel strong. Remember, the only approval that matters is your own. You can respect others, but you don't need to bend for them. You can be kind, but you don't need to justify your existence. When you accept yourself fully, you step into a natural, unshakable confidence. Practice self-compassion. Confidence is not about being perfect. It's about being human and accepting it. Too often, we beat ourselves up for mistakes, failures, or shortcomings. Self-compassion changes that. When you make a mistake, instead of saying, "I'm useless," say, "I am learning. I will do better next time." When you feel weak, instead of saying, "I can't," say, "I'm trying. That is enough." Self-compassion doesn't excuse failure. It strengthens your resilience. It allows you to keep going even when things are hard, because you are no longer your own enemy. Confidence through mastery. Another way to build unshakable self-confidence is through skill and competence. The more you learn and practice, the more capable you feel. Pick areas of life you want to grow in. A skill related to your career, a hobby or craft you enjoy, emotional intelligence and self-awareness. Dedicate time each day or week to practice. Even small progress adds up. Mastery is proof to yourself that you can do hard things, and confidence grows naturally from repeated success, no matter how small. Facing fear step by step. Fear and self-doubt are always going to be part of life. Confidence is not the absence of fear, it's the ability to act despite it. One way to practice is the small exposure method. 1. Identify a fear. Speaking in public, asking for help, confronting someone, or starting something new. 2. Break it into tiny steps, maybe just saying one sentence in a group, writing your thoughts down, or practicing in private. 3. Take one step each day, no matter how small. Each step proves to your mind that fear doesn't control you, and each small victory strengthens your confidence muscles. Celebrate your wins. Confidence is reinforced when you acknowledge your victories. Most people overlook their own successes. They focus on what went wrong. But every time you get out of bed, speak up, learn something new, or handle a difficult situation, you've won. Keep a victory journal. Write down 3 things you did well each day. They don't have to be monumental. Even small acts of courage count. Over time, you'll see that you've been strong all along. Confidence is built on this awareness of your own accomplishments. The role of body language. Confidence isn't just mental, it's physical. Your posture, voice, and presence all send messages to your brain and to others. Stand tall even when scared. Make eye contact. Speak clearly and slowly. Take up space. Don't shrink or hide. Your body and mind are connected. When you act confident, even if you don't feel it yet, your mind begins to catch up. Surround yourself with belief. The people you spend time with affect your confidence. Surround yourself with those who encourage you, celebrate your successes, challenge you kindly, and believe in your potential. Distance yourself from those who drain your energy, criticize unfairly, or hold you back. Your confidence will grow faster when your environment mirrors the belief you are trying to cultivate. Confidence and failure. Confidence is not the absence of failure, it's resilience through failure. Every successful person has failed. Every strong person has stumbled. What separates those who rise from those who remain stuck is mindset. The first sees failure as evidence of inadequacy. The second sees failure as information, a teacher, a stepping stone, a guide. When you shift your perspective, failure no longer shakes your confidence. It becomes a tool for growth. And each time you rise after a fall, your self-belief becomes stronger. Daily habits for unshakable confidence. Here are practical habits to make confidence a natural part of your life. 1. Affirmation practice. Start your day with positive statements about yourself. 2. Mirror work. Look yourself in the eye and say, I am capable. I am enough. 3. Goal setting. Set small, achievable goals daily. Each one builds proof of competence. 4. Gratitude reflection. Appreciate what you've accomplished, even small wins. 5. Learning and growth. Dedicate time to learn skills or expand knowledge regularly. 6. Body awareness. Stand, walk, and speak with intentionality and presence. These small but consistent practices build a strong inner foundation that fear and doubt cannot easily shake. Closing thought. Self-confidence is not a gift, it's a skill. It is built brick by brick, moment by moment, choice by choice. You already have what it takes. You've survived storms, rewritten your inner story, and chosen to rise again. Now it's time to believe in your ability to keep going, to trust yourself, to honor yourself, to act boldly and courageously in the face of fear. The confident person you admire is not a different you, it's the same you, trained, practiced, and awakened. Every step you take, every habit you form, every fear you face is proof of your growth. And every act of self-belief awakens even more strength within. Say it now. I am capable. I am resilient. I am enough. Repeat it daily. Live it intentionally. And watch your life transform, one courageous step at a time. Chapter 6. Healing from Within. Healing is a journey, not a destination. It is not a single moment, a quick fix, or a simple apology. True healing comes from within, from your willingness to face the pain, understand it, and transform it into wisdom. You may have been hurt by others. You may have hurt yourself. You may still carry regrets, anger, or fear. The path of healing begins when you decide, I will no longer let my past control my present. The courage to feel. Many people try to avoid pain. They numb it with distractions, busyness, or temporary comforts. But avoidance only delays healing. Pain must be felt before it can be released. Allow yourself to feel fully. Sadness when you've lost something or someone. Anger when you've been treated unfairly. Fear when the future feels uncertain. This is not weakness, it is courage. Every tear, every moment of reflection is a step toward reclaiming yourself. Feeling your emotions doesn't mean you're stuck in them. It means you're acknowledging reality, giving it space, and starting to understand it. The power of forgiveness. Forgiveness is one of the greatest acts of self-healing. It doesn't mean excusing wrongdoing or forgetting what happened. It means freeing yourself from the chains of resentment. Holding on to anger is like carrying a heavy stone in your heart. It weighs you down, blocks your growth, and keeps you tied to the past. Forgiveness is a gift you give to yourself. It says, I will no longer allow this pain to control me. It doesn't require others to change, only you. Start small. Forgive little things first, then move to deeper wounds. You may not feel relief immediately. Healing is gradual, but each act of forgiveness lifts a burden from your soul. Self-forgiveness. Just as you forgive others, you must forgive yourself. We all make mistakes. We all fail at times. We all hurt others, and sometimes ourselves. Self-forgiveness is not about ignoring accountability. It's about accepting your humanity. It's about saying, I did the best I could with what I knew at the time. It's about learning from mistakes, not letting them define you. When you forgive yourself, you create space for growth. You stop reliving guilt and start embracing possibility. You allow your spirit to heal. Transforming pain into wisdom. Pain can either break you or teach you. The choice is yours. Every hurt, disappointment, or failure carries a lesson. When you reflect honestly, you can see how past experiences shaped your strength, compassion, and resilience. Ask yourself, what did this experience teach me about life? What did I discover about myself? How can I use this lesson to help others or guide my future?
Pain becomes meaningful when it leads to growth. It becomes fuel for change rather than a chain that binds you. Releasing the past. Healing requires letting go. Letting go doesn't mean erasing memories or pretending nothing happened. It means choosing not to let the past dominate your present. Write down the thoughts, feelings, or memories that weigh you down. Acknowledge them fully. Then, consciously release them. Visualize placing them in a box, closing it, and setting it aside. Letting go is not weakness, it's strength. It shows that you value your peace more than your attachment to pain. Healing through mindfulness. Mindfulness is a powerful tool for inner healing. It teaches you to stay present, to observe thoughts without judgment, and to respond instead of reacting. When pain arises, notice it without labeling it good or bad. Simply acknowledge, this is here, I feel it, I accept it. Then gently return your focus to your breath, your body, or your surroundings. Over time, mindfulness creates space between your emotions and your actions. It helps you choose responses that promote healing rather than reactions that perpetuate suffering. Self-care as a healing practice. Healing is not just emotional, it's physical and spiritual. Your body, mind, and spirit are connected. Taking care of yourself reinforces inner peace and resilience. Simple self-care practices include eating nourishing foods, exercising to release tension, getting enough sleep, spending time in nature, journaling your thoughts and feelings, practicing meditation or prayer. These acts may seem small, but they are vital. They tell your body and mind, I am worth healing. I am worth care. Surround yourself with support. Healing doesn't mean going it alone. Seek people who lift you, listen without judgment, and inspire you to grow. Sometimes professional support, like a therapist or counselor, is needed, and that's a sign of strength, not weakness. Other times, supportive friends, family, or mentors can guide you gently toward peace. Being in the right environment reinforces your healing journey. It reminds you that you are not alone and that love, understanding, and hope exist. Creating new meaning. Once you begin to heal, you can create new meaning in your life. Instead of asking, why did this happen to me? Ask, what can I do with this experience? Perhaps you can help someone facing similar pain. Speak your truth and inspire others. Redirect your energy into creative or purposeful work.
Healing turns scars into stories, and stories into guidance for others. Your wounds become a bridge, connecting you to empathy, understanding, and purpose. Patience and persistence. Healing is not linear. Some days you'll feel stronger, other days the past will resurface. Be patient with yourself. Every tear, every thought, every breath is part of the process. Persistence is key. Even when it feels like nothing is changing, know that small, consistent steps accumulate into transformation. Trust that your inner work is unfolding, even when you can't see the results immediately. A daily healing practice. Here's a simple daily practice to nurture healing. 1. Reflection. Spend 5 to 10 minutes acknowledging your emotions. 2. Forgiveness. Forgive yourself and others for small and large hurts. 3. Gratitude. List 3 things you appreciate today. 4. Affirmation. Speak words of kindness and strength to yourself. 5. Action. Take one step that aligns with your healing. Reach out to a friend, go for a walk, journal, etc. Consistency in this practice strengthens your inner resilience. Healing from within is a choice, a commitment to yourself and your peace. It doesn't erase the past, but it reshapes your present and future. By allowing yourself to feel, forgive, reflect, and care for yourself, you awaken your inner strength. You turn wounds into wisdom, scars into power, and pain into purpose. Remember, you are not broken. You are becoming. Every act of self-love, every moment of reflection, and every decision to let go moves you closer to freedom. The strongest people are not those who have never been hurt, but those who have healed, grown, and chosen to rise above their pain. And that strength, calm, and peace are already within you, waiting to be awakened. Even when it feels like nothing is changing, know that small, consistent steps accumulate into transformation. Trust that your inner work is unfolding, even when you can't see the results immediately. A daily healing practice. Here's a simple daily practice to nurture healing. 1. Reflection. Spend 5 to 10 minutes acknowledging your emotions. 2. Forgiveness. Forgive yourself and others for small and large hurts. 3. Gratitude. List 3 things you appreciate today. 4. Affirmation. Speak words of kindness and strength to yourself. 5. Action. Take one step that aligns with your healing. Reach out to a friend, go for a walk, journal, etc. Consistency in this practice strengthens your inner resilience. Healing from within is a choice, a commitment to yourself and your peace. It doesn't erase the past, but it reshapes your present and future. By allowing yourself to feel, forgive, reflect, and care for yourself, you awaken your inner strength. You turn wounds into wisdom, scars into power, and pain into purpose. Remember, you are not broken. You are becoming. Every act of self-love, every moment of reflection, and every decision to let go moves you closer to freedom. The strongest people are not those who have never been hurt, but those who have healed, grown, and chosen to rise above their pain. And that strength, calm, and peace are already within you, waiting to be awakened. Chapter 7. Who You Truly Are. After pain, rising, rewriting your story, and healing from within, a new question emerges. Who am I, really? Not the version the world told you to be. Not the version shaped by fear, doubt, or past mistakes. Not the one who survived, but only just survived. Your true self is deeper, authentic, wise, and full of potential. It is the part of you that has endured, learned, and grown, ready to step forward with clarity, courage, and purpose. Rediscovering yourself. Life's trials can cloud your sense of identity. You may have worn masks to fit in, please others, or protect yourself from hurt. You may have lost touch with what truly makes you happy, what drives your passion, or what feels meaningful. Now is the time to peel back those layers. Ask yourself, what brings me joy? What are my core values? What am I naturally drawn to? Who am I when no one is watching? The answers may surprise you. They may remind you that your essence is still alive, waiting to be expressed. Embracing your values. Your values are the compass of your life. They guide your decisions, relationships, and actions. They show you what matters most and what aligns with your authentic self. Take time to identify your core values: honesty, kindness, courage, freedom, creativity, or service, for example. Once you know them, start living by them intentionally. Every choice becomes easier when aligned with your values. Every relationship, career path, or decision becomes clearer. Living by your values is not always easy, but it is the surest path to self-respect, inner peace, and authentic confidence. Passion as a guiding light. Your passions are signposts to your purpose. They are the activities, interests, or causes that make time disappear when you engage with them. Perhaps you love creating, teaching, helping, writing, exploring, or solving problems. Whatever it is, honor it. Passion fuels energy, creativity, and fulfillment. When combined with values and experience, passion guides you toward the life you are meant to live. The strength of authenticity. Being who you truly are requires courage. It means showing up without masks, even if others don't understand or approve. It means speaking your truth, setting boundaries, and embracing your uniqueness. Authenticity does not demand perfection. It requires honesty, vulnerability, and self-acceptance. And when you live authentically, the right people, opportunities, and experiences naturally align with your life. Authenticity is magnetic. It draws respect, love, and connection, not because you chase them, but because you are real. Your past shapes, but does not define you. Your past is not your identity. It is a chapter in your story. It has shaped your wisdom, resilience, and perspective. But it does not limit what you can become. Look back at your journey. Every challenge made you stronger. Every failure taught you a lesson. Every heartbreak revealed your capacity to love and forgive. You are the sum of all these experiences, not weakened by them, but refined by them. Your past gives you depth. Your future gives you freedom. Living with intention. Once you know who you truly are, life becomes a conscious creation. You stop drifting. You start designing your days with purpose, intention, and awareness. Ask yourself daily, does this choice align with who I am? Does this action reflect my values? Am I moving toward growth, fulfillment, and peace? Living intentionally means saying yes to what nourishes your soul and no to what drains it. It is freedom from external expectations and a commitment to yourself. Embracing your gifts. Every person has unique gifts, talents, perspectives, and strengths waiting to be shared. Reflect on your journey. What abilities have you developed through struggle? What insights have you gained that others might need? How can your story inspire or serve someone else? Your gifts are not meant to be hidden. They are meant to impact the world. Sharing them amplifies your purpose and solidifies your confidence. The courage to step forward. Rediscovering who you are is only part of the journey. The next step is acting on it. This requires courage, because stepping into your true self may challenge old relationships, routines, or expectations. But the reward is greater than the risk. Freedom from pretense, clarity in decisions, peace in choices, fulfillment in action. Step forward boldly, even if fear whispers, "Are you sure?" Your life will never feel whole if you remain small or hidden. Connection to others. Knowing your true self also transforms how you relate to others. Relationships become deeper and more meaningful. Communication becomes honest and effective. You attract people who resonate with your authentic energy. Instead of seeking validation, you offer value and presence. You stop tolerating what does not serve you and begin nurturing connections that uplift you. The more authentic you are, the more you inspire authenticity in others. Living as your highest self. Your highest self is not a distant dream. It is present now, within your choices and actions. It is the version of you that acts with courage, compassion, and clarity every day. Every time you choose love over fear, choose action over doubt, choose growth over comfort, you step closer to this highest self. Living as your highest self is the ultimate awakening. It is the culmination of rising, healing, and rewriting your story. Daily practices to connect with your true self. 1. Reflection. Spend time daily asking, "Who am I today?" 2. Journaling. Write about your thoughts, feelings, values, and goals. 3. Meditation. Center yourself and listen to your inner voice. 4. Affirmation. Say statements like, "I am enough," "I am capable," "I am true to myself." 5. Action. Take one step each day that reflects your authentic self. Consistency with these practices solidifies self-knowledge and aligns your life with who you truly are. You have journeyed through pain, chosen to rise, healed from within, and rewritten your inner story. Now you stand ready to embrace your true self, powerful, authentic, and resilient. Your past has prepared you, your choices have strengthened you, and your healing has awakened you. You are no longer defined by fear, doubt, or pain. You are defined by your courage, your values, and your truth. Step forward as the person you were always meant to be. Live intentionally, act authentically, and share your gifts with the world. The strength within you is limitless, the wisdom within you is deep, and the potential within you is infinite. You are not just surviving anymore. You are alive, awakened, and ready to shine.